Hi everyone! We are back from our trip. We've settled in, had a couple really wonderful quiet days, just catching up on some stuff at home, and I really wanted to do a quick little Powell's haul for you all. I love watching people's book hauls and whatnot, so I thought that would be really fun to try to do. So I bought 5 books in total this trip, and I surprised myself. I got 3 nonfiction books and 2 fiction books. That was definitely unexpected. Nonfiction is something I kind of struggle with, so I took myself by surprise by finding these. But yes, I'm very excited to share them with you, so let's get into it. So the first nonfiction book I picked up is this one. It's the Writer's Creative Workbook by Joy Kenward, illustrated by Ruth Allen. Now, I'm not normally a writing workbook type person. I don't always do the best with these kinds of prompts. However, while we were in Powell's and looking through this, I was super intrigued by some of the prompts, and a lot of them, the point is to kind of find your inner voice as a writer and who you are as a writer and what kind of things that you gravitate towards and you like. Now, I'm a visual artist as well, and we talk a lot about finding your style in visual art, and with writing, I'm discovering that it's very similar. The concept is like finding your own voice as a writer. And so I think that this will actually be very helpful in navigating writing. So yeah, finding your voice and embracing the page is the little blurb on the front. And I don't know, I'm very excited to try this out. I think also just, writing some of these prompts maybe before getting into a writing session would be really helpful, and I'm curious to try out this workbook. The second one I picked up is On Stories by C.S. Lewis. Now, I was gifted the version of this called On Writing and Writers for Christmas from my mom, and I've been so enjoying that book. And I knew I really wanted to pick up this one too. So when I found out that Powell's had a copy, I was like, yes, okay, absolutely. Now's my time. So this is a collection of essays and letters and quotes from C.S. Lewis on stories. And again, this is another one that I was flipping through while I was at Powell's and was like, you know what, this sounds so interesting to me, and I love Lewis's works, and so I think this would be really insightful to get to read, and the little blurbs were making me really excited. So this one made me laugh. It says, apparently this Oxford Don and Cambridge professor is going to be around for a long time. He calls himself a dinosaur, but he seems to speak to people where they are. That just made me chuckle. So very excited to tackle this one as well. The third and final nonfiction book I picked up is this one. This is Turning Point by Hayao Miyazaki. So Miyazaki is one of my favorite storytellers and visual artists of all time. I love Studio Ghibli movies. They've always meant a lot to me and have inspired a lot of my creative work, both in writing and painting and art and whatnot. So this book has been on my want to read list for a long time. I've just been very intimidated by it because it is not a small book, as you can see. And I struggle with nonfiction. I really struggle to stay motivated with reading nonfiction. However, based on the blurb on the back of this and some of the snippets that I read while perusing Powell's, I was getting really excited about diving into learning more about Miyazaki's process with making his films and his art and his heart behind some of the beloved films. So this is another one that I'm very excited to dive into. Again, a little intimidated, but I'm really excited. So I think this one will be a lot of fun. Now we are getting into the fiction books that I picked up. The first one is More Days at the Morisaki Bookshop. So this is the sequel to Days at the Morisaki Bookshop. Now, I read both of these books last year. I think these were actually the first books that I read of the year last year. And I listened to them on audiobook, and while I really enjoyed the first one, this one stood out to me. I don't remember exactly why, which is kind of funny, but I remember while listening to the audiobook getting super emotional and thinking to myself, wow, I'd love to have a copy of this for myself someday so that I can go through and annotate it specifically. So when I saw that Powell's had a used copy of this one, I got really excited because it's a used copy, but it's in really good shape. The only thing with it is just one single dog-eared page, and like it's probably going to get annotated, so I am not at all mad about a single dog-eared page. It's a really great shape otherwise. So yeah, I'm very excited about this one. I'm excited to reread it at some point and be reminded of what exactly stood out to me the first time and what it was that I connected with and made me emotional. Yes, I'm very excited to have picked up a copy of this. Also, I mean, this cover is just so charming and beautiful, and it reminds me of like a warm cup of coffee. Yes. I'm really excited about this one. So the last book that I picked up is this one, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sengu Mandana. Now, I'm not normally one to pick up novels about witches. They're not normally my thing. However, this book I have heard such high praise for. I have heard it described as a very heartwarming, cozy read. And as someone who's very curious about the growing interest in cozy fantasy and potentially would want to write cozy fantasy someday, I thought this would be really good research, and also just sounds like a very sweet story. On the back, it mentions that it's a warm and uplifting novel about an isolated witch whose opportunity to embrace a new family and a new love changes the course of her life. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I love isolation to community themes. I love found family. I love identity themes in stories. So this one sounded really interesting to me, and I'm excited to give it a chance. So let me know in the comments if you've read this one and what your thoughts were, and maybe we can dive into it together. Now, I have one more thing that I would like to show you. So as you saw earlier in the clips, we went to this little store called Oblation, which is a paper and stationery store in Portland. I was really excited to go here because they are an official Traveler's Journal partner store. So I was able to get some things for my Traveler's Journal, which are these lovely inserts. So I will run you through these really quick. So these two are the grid and dot grid paper refills. I love writing on grid paper. It is my preference, hands down. I don't like writing with lines. They drive me crazy. And I also do not enjoy just blank paper. It is too stressful to me to try to keep my writing straight. So very excited for these refills. The grid I've been using for my commonplace within my journal, which I'll show you in a moment. And then this I kind of envision using for notes, but I'm not entirely sure yet. But it's really great to have these because I don't have to pay for shipping now, and I get to support a small business. So that was exciting. And then, so I've got my current Traveler's Journal setup is mostly for my daily planner, which I'll show you in a moment. So I got this refill, which is the free diary, they call it, which is weekly and memo. So on this side, we've got like each day you can plan out. And then I use this side for my personal notes and like weekly reflection and whatnot. So yes, I'm very excited to have this. This lasts for 6 months. It's 28 weeks. And so once I run out of my current one, this should last me till the end of this year, which is really, really exciting. So very excited about this. This guy is the card file insert, and I am curious to try this one because the one that I currently have is just the zipper pocket, which I will show you in a moment. It's not working super well for me, so I was wondering if maybe this would work a little better to kind of store things inside. Definitely curious to give it a try. So I will show you what I mean in my Traveler's Journal. So this is my husband's traveler's journal, actually, that I am borrowing until I can get my own. I guess there's been a leather shortage, so these have been sold out online for a very long time, and they very rarely come back in. And when they have come back in stock, I've not been able to afford one. So I'm borrowing my husband's, which I gifted him a couple of years ago, until I can find my own. So right now, this is my current setup. I've got this is the pocket I was talking about. So I love this part of the pocket where I can store things in the little zipper pouch, but this one specifically is a struggle for me because things, as you can see, are slipping out of it. So I'm constantly like shoving things back in the pocket when I open it, and it's driving me nuts. So I'm wondering if maybe this will help with that, if these will stay a little better, but I'm not sure. So something I'm gonna play around with. I want to do an official video on my traveler's journal setup, but this is the current planner that I'm using. So this is the daily weekly. So this is what they look at like when they're not set up or anything. So you can add your dates in here, and then this is just a plain blank grid. Now, I've seen a lot of different people set them up in all kinds of fun ways, and I'm still experimenting with how I want to set mine up, but I will show you that another day. And then this is what my current commonplace looks like. This is my key, and then these are the kind of little system that I've got going on, and I really like the way that the dot grid works for this. So again, I will officially do a tour of this another day, but I just wanted to show you an overview. Also, I got these lovely stickers from Oblation. So this one, let's see if it'll focus. There we go. I just thought this was so sweet, and I'm excited to add this into my traveler's journal at some point. I love this logo so much. So I was very happy to pick this up. And then this one I had to get because it looks just like my cat Aki, and these are all things that I love, like the journal, the open book, and the little check marks, and it's just so cute, so I had to pick this up. And then I'll tuck these away real quick, and I want to show you the stamp, the official partner store stamp that they have is right here. So I love this. I thought this was such a fun thing to do. I've never gotten to do anything like that before. Again, traveler's journal is new to me. It did bleed through, but I think it looks really cool. So I'm not at all upset about it. But yeah, there you are. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Look forward to more traveler's journal content coming in the future. And I'm excited to keep you updated on the books that I got and what I think of them. So I hope you will stick around and join me next time. Bye.